I get that, but I want you to go back. Push yourself, because the kids deserve that. You guys are winners. It does not matter who sits in this seat in that office as the leadership. You guys are literally self-led last year. The talent is out there. You guys have all the talent, so I'm counting on everybody. I'm asking you guys to really push yourselves this year, to give your best, to give the most when you want to slack, because you're human. Our human nature, you want to slack off sometimes. The kids can't handle that. We as team leaders, we visited our test scores. In the midst of it all, we did an outstanding job. We have testing coming out to talk to you guys about that later. You did an amazing job, and it was a difficult year because it was our second year with this test. There are still uncertainties. There was shake-up at the district. We have to serve as that anchor for each other and stay strong and continue to push ourselves to do the best for our kids. So I just want you all to reflect on that. Reflect on what I can do to make Evanston better. What can I do to make my school better? Can I do my next slide?
Yep.
Yes. I hope this volume is a little better.
We have announcements already.
She tells her kids that they can't do anything about their home life, but school is a different matter. School is a place where they can change their lives.
And it's amazing when I talk to kids one-on-one and
But Dr. Monroe accepts no excuses.
hurry up, we have announcements already.
She tells her kids that they can't do anything about their home life, but school is a different matter. School is a place where they can change their lives.
And it's amazing when I talk to kids one-on-one and tell them, you are not responsible for your home life. You are not responsible because your parents don't love you. You're not responsible because your father disappeared. You're not responsible because your mother's on the street. You're not responsible for that. And it's almost as if they say, phew, I'm not, but you are responsible for getting here every day on time in your uniform and giving us those things that will allow us to work you into your bright future. You are responsible for that.
You really believe it doesn't make any difference who their parents are?
I don't think it makes a difference that people want it to make. I have done this work long enough to see children who come from backgrounds that are so shattered that I can't believe why the kid is still sane, who cross the threshold every morning and ace anything we put in front of them. I'm really tired of people using those descriptives as excuses as to why they don't challenge the children, why they don't ask for better behavior, why they're not more demanding.
Yo no sé.
I don't know.
Por favor.
Please.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Mucho gusto.
Discipline the most important thing?
Nope. It's parallel to academic rigor. But you cannot teach in chaos. You cannot. It could be Moses, Buddha, Christ. You cannot teach if when you say, I'd like your attention, and you don't get it. There has to be respect for that adult in the room. And then things can happen.
I would say the answer is number 2. The water causes cooler summers and warmer winters.
It is? Number 2, what?
School, she says, is the only predictable element in most children's lives, and that they need to know that there are places and times when they have to be quiet and not fool around, and that there are lines over which they cannot step without facing consequences. And if we don't have that in school, she says, and children go home to craziness, then we're programming them for insanity.
When you walk around the building, you see how kids respond to that kind of attention. They hunger for this kind of atmosphere.
They want structure.
They want structure. I could not run a place as well as this place is run if children didn't want to really have structure and predictability. Come over here, please.
She tells teachers that they have to try and reach every student, not just the smart ones, because you can't predict which ones will respond. She tells a story about a terror from Philadelphia who transferred into her English class.
And I'm writing on the board 2 weeks from now, book report, do first choice is your choice, and be prepared to write about it in class. And the class is bent over writing it, and the new boy from Philadelphia said, I ain't doing that. Well, the rest of the class went like, so I said, come up here. So he came up because he thought this was going to be the big moment, his big moment, like he was going to show the kids from New York how bad out of Philly he was. So I said, I want you to take this note to your counselor. Dear counselor, this is to introduce so-and-so. He doesn't want to do my... And I said it out loud. Put him in a class to do somebody else's. The kid said, please. So I didn't look up. I said, if you can be back in your seat by the time I look up, I will forget this incident.
A few years ago, she ran into that student on the streets of New York.
So what are you doing now? He said, I've got my master's in social work, and I'm working with at-risk children now, trying to... So you don't know.
What's wrong with American education? What's gone wrong with education in America?
I think that in part we've moved away from lots of things at work.
What do you mean, what worked?
Standards, sticking close to the knitting, and what one superintendent said, oh, I get it. You stick to the core and then frill around that core. That people keep trying to invent new ways to do what we know how to do.
Take a look at x minus 5 and 5 minus x. If only we could switch this to make it look like this, the ball game is over. Watch.
There are also some practical innovations. Every academy student must take a course in the fundamentals of business, and Japanese is offered as a foreign language beginning in the 7th grade.
How to say telephone?
Japanese is really a difficult language, too.
Absolutely. It's very hard. It's got 2 alphabets. But they don't know it's hard. They think it's fun.
Are you sure all the steps are right?
Yes.
Pretty good.
It's all part of Dr. Monroe's vision and her unshakable belief in the power of education and the idea that teachers can transform lives.
Why aren't there more schools like Frederick Douglass all over the country?
It's a question everybody asks, and there are other Frederick Douglasses around the country. There are not enough of them. And the reason that there are not enough of them is that the work is very hard. It's very hard to do this day after day after day. You really have to have the staff and the principal being maniacs, who don't know no, who assume nothing, who take no excuses, who come for the kids.
Let's start writing. Yes.
I used to quote from the story saying...
That's good. That's good. A quote from the story. Yes.
Dr. Monroe says there is no way to pay good teachers enough money. It's a calling, not a profession. 14, 16 hours a day if you do the job right. She supplements her school budget by raising money from corporate sponsors to send her kids to the theater and the ballet, and on trips abroad to places like South Africa, Israel, and Paris. She doesn't want them to feel disadvantaged when they finally get to college.
See, that's the added competitive edge. You got the academics going for you, but then when you go off and somebody says, well, you know, when I saw the Eiffel Tower, I said, it's funny, the day we were there, it was raining. Was it raining when you went? You've got to give kids that kind of sense that the world is theirs. They have to just be prepared to be smoothly in it.
You think that's important?
Very.
Why?
Tell me what the alternative is. What's the alternative? To read Mickey Mouse literature, to think that the boundaries of your community are the boundaries of the world, that the museums in the city don't belong to you, that there's only for other people. I don't know. I don't know an alternative.
You think that somehow this changes them?
I know it does. And I'm expecting them to be leaders of the world.
All right, good people. At your table. Are you switching to the next slide? At your table, you guys, everybody should have some Post-its. I want you guys to discuss what resonated in this video. What touched you? What touched your team? I'm going to come by and identify someone to lead the discussion at your table. And you guys capture that on a Post-it. What resonated with you? What touched you from this video? What from the piece resonates in your spirit? One piece. Right. So you guys talk out, share out, and when you hear my chimes, time's up. Here's your baby. Here's your baby.
What do you say?